Hi everybody and welcome back to the Laughter Crafter. It's good to be with you again. I missed a week. As I said last time, I was going away for a bit of a holiday. I went to Mauritius and the Reunion Island and had a really lovely break. Here I am back in cold windy Perth, but that's fine. It's really good to be doing some craft with you again. Last time we decorated a bottle, you may remember that. This time I've decorated something a little bit different, and it is a bar of soap. There it is. Lovely chunky bar of soap. And it smells gorgeous and really prettily decorated and so easy to do, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do that today. It was so quick and easy, in fact, that I thought I really should make something alongside it. So I've made this little box that the cake of soap can go into, so you can give this as a gift, and it's really quick and easy, both the box and the soap. Really quick and easy. You can do it with your kids, put them on a stall for the school fete, and you'll sell lots of them, and they won't cost you a fortune. So here is the limerick that goes with this craft. So dress up a nice cake of soap. It need not be tied to a rope. Then make it a box from your choice of cardstocks that folds up like a neat envelope. And it does. There you go. Okay, so I'll tell you a little joke before we start our craft. So a fellow went along for a job interview, and he said to the man interviewing him, "I don't have any experience whatsoever to do this job, but I do want top dollars." And the guy said, "Well, that doesn't seem quite right. You know, you have no experience to do this job, but you want to be paid the top dollar." And the man said, "Well, yeah, the job's a lot harder when you've got no idea what you're doing." That makes sense to me. Okay, let's get on with the craft. So I've gathered together things that I think I'll need to do the decorated soap and the box to hold the soap. So obviously you're going to need a bar of soap. Mine happens to be nice and flat, which makes it easy to glue on my piece of paper. If you had a rounded soap, then you could just cut little slits in your paper and overlap them. As well as that, you're going to need to attach the piece of paper onto the soap. I'm just going to use a glue stick, and then afterwards you just seal it with clear nail polish. That's it for the soap. To make the box, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. I've chosen this nice red one. Cut them both to 18 by 15 centimeters. That's 2 pieces. Then I'm going to put this strip of card, that's decorative. I'm going to run that along the center of the box, and then you're going to attach the two pieces together to make one box with double-sided sticky tape. You need something to score marks on that cardboard, which is where you're going to fold the cardboard. So I'm just going to use this fairly blunt knitting needle, which is going to be good enough for scoring some marks, and of course some paper scissors. And that's really it, so let's get started. We'll start with the soap first. So I'm just going to put some of this glue from the glue stick onto the back of this piece of paper. Now you could use sticky glue. I would not use PVA glue, which is wood glue, the white glue. I wouldn't use that. I would either use glue stick, which I think is perfectly adequate, and there you go, it's already attached. Now if you were to go and use that soap in the shower like that, well, obviously this paper is going to come off very, very quickly with the water from the shower. So that's why we apply a few coats of clear nail varnish. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And you need to go right over the surface of that picture and over the edges as well. Now what happens with this varnish, when it dries, it is going to seal that paper, and when you use this soap in the shower, the water is not going to penetrate through that nail varnish, and you're going to be able to use that whole block of soap until it gets right down to this paper, and obviously that's all you'll be left with, and you can then dispose of it. I have done this decorative soap with photographs. If you're going to use something thick like a photograph, I recommend that you peel the back layer, back card part of the photograph away, so that it's a thinner surface that you're left with. And then you go ahead and do exactly what I'm doing here. You just don't want something that's too thick, because then you're really going to create a big ridge around these edges that is going to take a whole lot of coats of varnish, and you really want something that's thinner than that. So a photograph works perfectly well, but as I say, just thin it down. Alright, so that's one layer. I'm looking in the light to check that I haven't missed any spots, and I think that's completely covered. So that's it. I'm going to put that aside and let that dry. In a few minutes I'll come back and put on another coat. That's looking really sweet. Probably I'll end up with 3 or 4 coats. Actually, I can see a tiny weeny dot that I missed. It's showing up in the light right there. So just make sure you don't miss any bits. Make sure you go right over the edges. And there we go. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to start on the box. So I'm using this 4 centimeter wide piece of cardboard as my ruler. I've got a few rulers, but all of them are different widths and none of them 4 centimeters. So I think it's just easier to use this. I'm running this knitting needle along the edge of this purple card just to score. I don't know if you can see that line, but I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Put that purple ruler, if you like, right to the edge of that red and run that along, making a bit of a score quite firmly around there. And I'll continue doing that on all 4 sides on both of the pieces. So I've scored both these pieces of cardboard at the 4 centimeter mark around all 4 sides. Now I'm going to take one of these pieces and, oopsie daisy, with my paper scissors, I'm just going to cut out 2 of these squares that are formed on the corners from those score lines. Not 2 from the short end, but from the long end. So this one and this one. Right on that score line. Okay. Now, over here, on this line and this line, I'm going to take my scissors again and cut along that score line. And about 1 millimeter from it, just inside there, I'm taking out just the tiniest little piece. This is just going to help the whole box to fit together neatly when it's all folded up. So can you see that little tiny slit that I've cut out? Same on this end. It's a weeny, weeny little sliver of cardboard that I'm cutting out. There we go. And that's what I have. Now we'll move on to the second piece. On this piece of cardboard, I'm going to do those same little thin cuts. Now they need to be this way, not on the sides, but on the ends. Alright, that's important. So again, I'll do the first one and then I'll go ahead myself and do the other 3. So just a tiny little bit, only talking about 1 millimeter. If I can get the scissors right, there we go. Okay, so there's 1. I'll go ahead and do 2, 3, 4. So there we go, all 4 notches in that one, and this one has the 2 squares cut out of the corners and the notches on this side. Now if you have a close look at this cardstock, and this is the same with most cardstock, there is a textured side and there is a smooth side. The smooth side is going to be the inside of the box and the textured is going to be the outside. So I'm going to turn both pieces over with the textured side down and the smooth side up. Hopefully you can see both of those sheets now. On this tab that's sticking out from this one, I'm going to take my double-sided sticky tape and run it along like that. Make a couple of strips like so. And I might just do a couple of little ones in the middle as well. Make sure you have the double-sided tape that has the paper backing, so I can handle this and it's not sticky until I peel this paper off, and then of course I reveal the sticky. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to peel off this tape and leave the sticky tape exposed. This is a fantastic thing to have for craft. Oops, I haven't turned this one over, so I want to make sure this is on the smooth side up. So this tab tucks directly underneath this side part here, like so. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold on all the score lines, and they should fold very easily. Where I've scored. with the knitting needle. Okay. Okay, here it is. This is the inside, the shiny side, with all the score lines have been folded. All the cardboard's been folded along those lines that I made before with that knitting needle. So this is the right side, which is the textured side. And I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to glue on this strip, and it's going to go right across the middle like this, because this is the top edge of the box, and these are two sides, so it's going to run like that. So I'm going to take my glue stick again, and I'll just roughly measure how long I want this to be. I think I'll go from this end, a small pattern on it. And I'm going to cut it off about here. So, take my glue stick. Trying not to get it onto the work surface. There we go. And run it. Center it in the middle of that what that lid is. I think that's fairly well centered. Give it a good rub. The good thing about the glue stick is it's tacky, but it's not liquidy, so it's not going to ooze out like a craft glue would. So I've got a little bit sticking out the edge there. I'll just carefully trim that off. So there it is. Very nice on there. I'm going to bend this edge down again with that decorative strip on it. So there we go. That's it. Ready now to go back with our double-sided sticky tape and assemble it. Okay, now I'm ready to start to put the little bits of sticky, double-sided sticky tape on these 6 squares here. Now make sure that this is facing up with the textured side up, the side with the decorative piece on it as well. And I'm going to stick 2 pieces of this double-sided sticky tape on each of these 6 little squares. The 2 up this end, the 2 down this end, and the 2 in the middle. So I'll go ahead and do that. So here is the textured side of this cardboard with the sticky tape in place ready to go. I'm going to put this to one side for a moment and do another coat of nail polish on to this soap, same as before. Okay, that was the 3rd coat of nail polish, by the way, onto that soap, and I think the 3 coats is enough. So now I'm taking off the backing paper from this double-sided sticky tape, and I'm bending that up and pressing that there like that. It's fairly intuitive how to do this, but anyway, I'll demonstrate it for you. So there's the box all folded up, and I've made a small curved cut in here, which makes it easier to open. And that's great. Now I'm going to get a little bit of tissue paper and wrap up the soap, and it should fit in there very nicely, all wrapped up with tissue paper. That 3rd layer of nail varnish is just drying, so I'll leave it a little while. When it's completely dry, I'll wrap it up and pop it into the box. But that's it. I think it's turned out really well. So there you go. There's our little craft for this week, the decorated soap and the box for it to live in. Why don't you have a go at doing this week? And if you do, pop your photos up on the page and we'll all share in your success. It's not difficult to do, not expensive to do, but very fun. Okay, until I see you next time, I hope you'll have fun laughing this week and crafting this week. So it's bye for now.